A looming catastrophe threatens the serene fjords of western Norway. Okneset Mountain, a seemingly tranquil landmark, holds a terrifying potential for disaster. Recent discussions and videos have brought to light the chilling possibility of a mega-tsunami triggered by a massive landslide from this unstable mountain. This isn't a distant threat, but an imminent danger that could obliterate towns within minutes. As experts scramble to monitor and mitigate this risk, the urgency and gravity of the situation have never been more apparent. Let's see the unsettling reality of what could be one of nature's most formidable threats. The Okneset Mountain Threat. Okneset Mountain, situated in the Sunnmøre region of western Norway, is a prominent geological feature with the potential to unleash a catastrophic disaster. The mountain's dramatic rise and rugged terrain contribute to its imposing presence, making it a focal point for both scientific study and disaster preparedness efforts. Understanding Okneset's location, its unique geological characteristics, and the nature of the threat it poses provides crucial context for assessing the potential impact of a mega-tsunami. Okneset Mountain is part of the Sunnmøre Alps, a range renowned for its steep peaks and deep fjords. This region's geography is defined by its striking contrasts. Towering cliffs plunge dramatically into serene fjords, creating a landscape that is both breathtaking and perilous. Okneset stands out due to its sheer scale and prominence, rising sharply from the fjord below. The mountain's elevation and the surrounding fjord's depth contribute to the significant geological risks associated with it. The geological features of Okneset play a critical role in the threat it presents. The mountain is composed of sedimentary and metamorphic rocks, which have been shaped by millions of years of tectonic activity. These rocks are subject to weathering and erosion, which can compromise their stability. The rock mass of Okneset, particularly the unstable section known as the Okneset rock mass, is prone to displacement. This instability is exacerbated by the presence of water, which can erode the rock and increase the likelihood of a landslide. The primary threat from Okneset Mountain is the potential for a massive landslide. Scientists estimate that up to 54 million cubic meters of rock could collapse from the mountain. This enormous volume of material is equivalent to over 20,000 Olympic-sized swimming pools and represents a significant geological hazard. The potential landslide would be a catastrophic event, displacing a vast amount of rock and sediment into the fjord. When compared to known landslides, the potential collapse of Okneset is on a scale that dwarfs many historical events. For instance, the 2011 Tverfjell landslide in Norway, which involved approximately 0.5 million cubic meters of rock, was a significant event, but was relatively small in comparison. The Okneset scenario, with its estimated 54 million cubic meters, represents a far greater risk. Historical landslides, such as the 1963 Vajont Dam disaster, involved substantial rock displacements but still fall short of the scale of the Okneset threat. The Vajont landslide displaced around 270 million cubic meters of rock into a reservoir, creating a wave that reached 50 meters in height. While the Vajont event was larger in scale, the potential impact of the Okneset landslide is still substantial and could result in significant destruction. The landslide at Okneset could generate a tsunami wave of immense proportions. Scientists' potential impact project that the resulting wave could reach heights of up to 80 meters. To put this into perspective, Norway's tallest building, the Mjøstårnet, stands at 85.4 meters tall. A tsunami wave of 80 meters would be nearly as tall as this structure, illustrating the magnitude of the in comparison. The 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, which reached heights of around 30 meters in some areas, caused widespread devastation across multiple countries. The potential MEGA-TSUNAMI, with its projected height of 80 meters, would be significantly more destructive. The enormity of such a wave would result in severe flooding, widespread damage to infrastructure, and potentially catastrophic loss of life in the affected coastal areas. Potential impact on local communities. The looming threat of a mega-tsunami triggered by a landslide at Okneset Mountain has profound implications for the nearby communities of Hellesylt and Geiranger. These picturesque towns, nestled in the fjords of western Norway, are at the epicenter of the potential disaster. Understanding the specific risks they face, as well as the systems in place to mitigate these risks, is crucial for assessing the overall impact on local populations. Hellesylt and Geiranger, both situated along the fjord coastlines, are exceptionally vulnerable to the consequences of a mega-tsunami. Hellesylt, a small village renowned for its stunning natural beauty and proximity to the fjord, faces significant risks due to its location directly in the path of potential tsunami waves. The town's infrastructure, including residential buildings and key facilities, is closely situated along the water's edge, increasing its susceptibility to flooding and damage. Similarly, Geiranger, famous for its dramatic scenery and as a popular tourist destination, is also at high risk. The town is nestled within the Geiranger Fjord, which is known for its steep cliffs and narrow waterways. The proximity of Geiranger to the fjord means that even a relatively small tsunami could have devastating effects. The town's infrastructure, including hotels, homes, and essential services, would face substantial damage from the force of the tsunami waves. The scenic beauty of these areas belies the underlying danger posed by their vulnerability to such natural disasters. The potential damage to infrastructure and housing in both Hellesylt and Geiranger could be catastrophic. Buildings close to the fjord are particularly at risk of being inundated by the tsunami waves. The force of the waves could lead to widespread destruction of homes and businesses, as well as significant damage to roads, bridges, and other critical infrastructure. The economic impact would be severe, affecting both local residents and the tourism industry that plays a crucial role in these communities. In response to the threat, advanced monitoring and alert systems have been put in place to provide early warnings and facilitate evacuations. The mountain and surrounding areas are equipped with a range of high-tech monitoring tools, including GPS sensors, lasers, and seismometers. These instruments are designed to detect any signs of instability in the mountain and provide real-time data on potential landslide activity. The integration of these technologies allows for continuous monitoring of Okneset and the early detection of any changes that could indicate an imminent threat. Residents are alerted through a multifaceted warning system. Traditional methods such as sirens are used to broadcast urgent messages to the population. In addition, modern communication tools like SMS notifications are employed to ensure that information reaches residents quickly and efficiently. Social media platforms, including TikTok, are also utilized to disseminate warnings and updates, providing an additional layer of communication that can reach a broad audience. This combination of alert systems ensures that residents are informed promptly and can take appropriate action in the event of an emergency. The evacuation plans in place provide for a 72-hour notice period, giving residents time to prepare and relocate if necessary. This time frame is crucial for ensuring that people can evacuate safely and that essential services can be mobilized to assist in the process. The evacuation plans are designed to prioritize the safety of residents and minimize the potential impact of the tsunami. However, The effectiveness of these plans depends on timely warnings and the community's ability to respond swiftly. Historical context and precedents. The Storegga slide was one of the largest known underwater landslides in history, occurring around 8,200 years ago off the coast of Norway. This colossal event involved the collapse of a substantial portion of the continental shelf, displacing enormous volumes of sediment and rock into the North Sea. The scale of the slide was staggering, with an estimated 2,000 cubic kilometers of material being mobilized. This landslide triggered a series of powerful tsunami waves that inundated the coastal regions of the North Sea, impacting what are now parts of Norway, Scotland, and the Netherlands. The impact of the Storegga slide was profound and far-reaching. The tsunamis generated by the landslide are believed to have reached heights of up to 20 meters in some areas, causing widespread flooding and destruction along the coastlines. Archaeological evidence indicates that the event may have contributed to significant shifts in human settlement patterns, with coastal communities being displaced and large-scale changes in regional populations. The Storegga slide remains a crucial reference point for understanding the potential scale of tsunamis and their impacts on human societies. The Storegga slide offers several key lessons for understanding and mitigating the risks associated with large-scale landslides and tsunamis. One critical lesson is the importance of early detection and monitoring of potential landslide zones. Advances in technology have improved our ability to monitor geological hazards, but the Storegga slide underscores the need for continuous vigilance and research. Understanding the geological processes that led to the Storegga slide has informed current efforts to predict and prepare for similar events. Another important lesson is the need for comprehensive evacuation and disaster response plans. The devastation caused by the Storegga slide highlighted the vulnerabilities of coastal communities to such natural disasters. Modern warning systems and evacuation plans, like those being developed for Åkneset, are essential for minimizing the impact of potential tsunamis and ensuring the safety of affected populations. In addition to the Storegga slide, several other significant tsunamis and landslides throughout history provide context for understanding the potential threats faced today. For example, the 1700 Cascadia earthquake off the coast of the Pacific Northwest in the United States triggered a massive tsunami that affected coastal regions as far away as Japan. The event was caused by a major seismic shift along the Cascadia subduction zone, which remains a significant area of concern for future tsunami risks. Similarly, the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, triggered by a massive earthquake off the coast of Sumatra, serves as a more recent example of the devastating impact of tsunamis. The waves from this event reached heights of up to 30 meters and caused widespread destruction across multiple countries, highlighting the global scale of tsunami risks and the importance of international cooperation in disaster preparedness and response. Another historical event is the 1963 Vajont Dam disaster in Italy. Although not a tsunami, the dam collapse was caused by a landslide that displaced a significant volume of rock into the reservoir, generating a wave that overtopped the dam and resulted in extensive flooding downstream. This event underscores the importance of managing and monitoring geological hazards in areas with significant infrastructure. Modern geological and engineering efforts. In response to the imminent threat posed by Åkneset Mountain, modern geological and engineering efforts are pivotal in monitoring, predicting, and mitigating potential risks. These initiatives utilize advanced technologies and innovative techniques to address the challenges of landslide prediction and stabilization. Monitoring Åkneset Mountain involves a sophisticated array of technologies designed to detect and analyze geological changes. One of the primary methods is the use of GPS sensors, which provide precise measurements of ground movement. These sensors are installed at various points around the mountain to track any shifts or deformations in real time. By analyzing the data from these sensors, scientists can identify potential precursors to a landslide, such as subtle changes in the mountain's stability. Laser scanning technology is another critical tool in the monitoring arsenal. This method, known as LiDAR, light detection and ranging, creates detailed three-dimensional maps of the mountain's surface. The high-resolution images produced by LiDAR can detect minute changes in the terrain that may indicate instability. By comparing historical and current scans, researchers can assess how the mountain's structure is evolving and predict potential failure points. Seismometers are also employed to monitor seismic activity in the region. These instruments detect ground vibrations caused by earthquakes or other geological disturbances. Seismic data can help scientists understand the underlying processes that might trigger a landslide and provide early warnings if significant seismic activity is detected. Recent advances in technology have further enhanced these monitoring efforts. For example, satellite imagery and remote sensing are now used to gather comprehensive data on large-scale geological features. Artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms are being integrated to analyze vast amounts of data more efficiently, allowing for more accurate predictions of landslide risks. Efforts to stabilize Oknaset Mountain focus on reducing the risk of a landslide by addressing factors that contribute to its instability. One significant method is the drainage of water from the mountain. Water infiltration can weaken the rock and soil, increasing the likelihood of a landslide. To mitigate this risk, engineers have implemented various drainage systems designed to reduce water accumulation within the mountain. These systems include surface drains, wells, and pumping stations that help to control groundwater levels and maintain the stability of the mountain. The stabilization process also involves reinforcing the mountain's structure. Engineers use techniques such as rock bolting and netting to secure loose rock and prevent it from contributing to a landslide. Rock bolts are long, steel rods that are inserted into the rock to hold it in place, while netting provides an additional layer of support to catch any falling debris. Despite these efforts, stabilizing Oknaset Mountain presents several challenges. The scale of the mountain and the complexity of its geological features make it difficult to implement comprehensive stabilization measures. Additionally, the constant monitoring and maintenance required for these systems can be resource-intensive. Engineers must continually assess the effectiveness of the stabilization efforts and make adjustments as needed to ensure ongoing safety. Progress has been made in addressing these challenges, but the situation remains dynamic. Advances in engineering techniques and materials have improved the effectiveness of stabilization measures, but the inherent unpredictability of geological processes means that ongoing research and adaptation are essential. Collaborative efforts between scientists, engineers, and local authorities are crucial for managing the risks associated with Oknaset and similar geological threats. Global risks and comparisons. The threat of megatsunamis is not confined to Norway's Oknaset Mountain. It extends to various regions around the world, each with unique geological features that could trigger catastrophic events. Understanding these global risks and comparing them with the Oknaset situation provides a broader perspective on the potential impact of such natural disasters. One of the most notable regions at risk is the area surrounding the San Andreas Fault in the United States. This fault line, which stretches approximately 1,200 kilometers through California, is known for its seismic activity. Although primarily associated with earthquakes, the San Andreas Fault has the potential to trigger landslides that could generate significant tsunamis. If a substantial landslide occurred in one of California's coastal regions, it could send massive waves crashing onto the shores, potentially causing widespread damage and loss of life. Alaska is another area of concern. particularly the regions near the Aleutian Islands and the Gulf of Alaska. This area is seismically active due to the convergence of the Pacific and North American tectonic plates. Historically, Alaska has experienced significant seismic events, and there is potential for underwater landslides triggered by earthquakes to produce large tsunamis. The 1964 Great Alaska Earthquake, one of the most powerful recorded earthquakes, generated tsunamis that devastated coastal communities, highlighting the region's vulnerability. Patagonia, located at the southern tip of South America, also faces potential tsunami risks. The region's complex tectonic setting, characterized by the subduction of the Nazca Plate beneath the South American Plate, creates a high seismic activity zone. Underwater landslides triggered by earthquakes in this region could generate mega-tsunamis, impacting both the Chilean and Argentine coasts. The rugged terrain and remote nature of Patagonia make it challenging to monitor and prepare for such events, increasing the potential for severe consequences. Recent research on global mega-tsunami threats has provided new insights into the potential scale and impact of such disasters. Advances in geological and oceanographic studies have improved our understanding of the factors that contribute to mega-tsunamis. For instance, researchers have used simulations and modeling to predict the potential impacts of large-scale landslides and volcanic eruptions on coastal regions. These models help to identify high-risk areas and assess the potential height and reach of tsunami waves. One significant finding is the role of underwater landslides in generating mega-tsunamis. Studies have shown that large volumes of sediment and rock displaced by underwater landslides can produce waves much larger than those generated by seismic activity alone. This has implications for regions with unstable underwater slopes, where even smaller landslides can trigger significant waves if they occur in proximity to densely populated coastal areas. Another key area of research is the assessment of historical tsunami events and their impacts. By analyzing sediment deposits and geological evidence from past tsunamis, scientists can gain insights into the frequency and magnitude of such events. This historical perspective helps to inform modern risk assessments and preparedness strategies. Comparing the Oknaset situation with global tsunami risks highlights both similarities and differences in the nature of these threats. Like Oknaset, regions such as Alaska and Patagonia face the risk of landslides leading to tsunamis. The common thread is the potential for large-scale geological events to trigger catastrophic waves. However, each region has unique factors that influence the risk and impact of such events. For example, Oknaset's threat is characterized by a specific geological instability that could lead to a significant landslide into a fjord, generating a localized tsunami. In contrast, the San Andreas Fault poses a broader seismic risk that could trigger tsunamis through a combination of earthquakes and landslides.
In San Francisco, what happened? There's a hell of an earthquake. All emergency. Cypress section of the West Grand Freeway has come.
Alaska's risk involves both seismic activity and underwater landslides, while Patagonia's risks are tied to the complex tectonic interactions in the subduction zones. Cultural and media representations. Cultural and media representations are pivotal in shaping public awareness and understanding of natural disasters. The Norwegian disaster film The Wave, Bølgen, is a prime example of how cinematic storytelling can bring real-life dangers into the spotlight. Released in 2015, The Wave dramatizes a scenario eerily similar to the potential threat posed by Oknaset Mountain. The film's portrayal of a mega-tsunami resulting from a catastrophic landslide into a fjord vividly illustrates the kind of disaster that could impact the serene Norwegian fjords. Set in the picturesque town of Geiranger, The Wave reflects the vulnerability of real-life locations like Hellesylt and Geiranger to such disasters. The film follows a geologist who predicts the imminent collapse of a mountain and the ensuing tsunami that could wreak havoc on the town. Through intense visuals and suspenseful storytelling, the film captures the sheer scale of the disaster, including the towering waves crashing onto the coastal town and the desperate efforts of the residents to flee. This dramatic depiction serves not only to entertain, but also to educate audiences about the potential consequences of such natural events. The impact of the wave extends beyond its cinematic value. By dramatizing a real geological threat, the film raises awareness about the risks associated with landslides and tsunamis. Its portrayal of the disaster's magnitude and the urgent response required highlights the seriousness of these threats, making them more tangible to viewers who may not be familiar with the scientific and practical aspects of such dangers. This kind of representation can significantly influence public perception, making complex and potentially abstract risks more accessible and urgent. The broader influence of media and popular culture is evident in how disasters are portrayed and understood. Films, documentaries, and news coverage often amplify the perceived urgency of threats by dramatizing events and focusing on human stories. This approach can heighten public interest and concern, driving home the severity of potential disasters. However, this dramatization also comes with risks. Sensationalized portrayals may exaggerate certain aspects of a disaster or focus on dramatic elements, which can lead to misconceptions or fears that are not entirely grounded in reality. In the case of The Wave, while the film effectively raises awareness and emphasizes the potential for disaster, it also underscores the importance of scientific accuracy and preparedness. By reflecting the real risks associated with unstable geological formations, the film serves as a reminder of the need for accurate information and proactive measures. It highlights the balance between dramatic storytelling and factual representation, demonstrating that while media can effectively engage and inform, it must also ensure that it conveys the truth about natural threats. As media representations evolve, they continue to play a crucial role in shaping public understanding of natural disasters. Films like The Wave are instrumental in bringing attention to important issues, but they also reinforce the necessity of combining dramatic narratives with scientific knowledge. By doing so, they help to foster a more informed and prepared public, ready to face the challenges posed by nature's unpredictability. If you found this video on the imminent mega-tsunami threat in Norway fascinating and informative, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with others who might be interested. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content like this, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Your support helps us keep you informed about critical topics and emerging threats.